I think the Fed is going to raise rates, but I think it's going to be a very slow pace. I think you're on track for maybe 3 rate ratchets this year. I don't think it disturbs the equity markets all that much.
And so what are you doing as a result of all this? And would you short bonds?
No, I don't. You know, that's a trading operation. You can't make 5 or 10 times on your money on the short side. Our models nailed this rally. They telegraphed it the week before the election. They have been off the past 3 or 4 weeks. They were looking for a window of downside vulnerability beginning the first week of February. So far, that's been a bad call, but I'm still sticking with a cautious stance here, given the upcoming budget ceiling. There's a number of metrics at work on the Hill. I've talked to a lot of people on the Hill over the past few days, and there's some things that have me nervous.
So what does the model say now? And to the extent that there was something in error, if you will, for the last couple of weeks, as you just described, what was wrong with it?
You know, models aren't always right. It's kind of like Dow theory. It's right more than it's wrong, but it's subject to interpretation. The long-term model flipped positive in October of 2008 and has never flipped negative. The intermediate and short-term models flipped negative at the middle to end of January, and I'm honoring that signal, at least so far. And as I said, so far it's been wrong.
Okay, but the suggestion, I mean, if you look at if you were to tell us what the model suggests now, is there still a pullback on the horizon according to this model, or is it a straight shot ahead?
No, it's still telegraphing a pullback. You've had 5 consecutive lower highs. That hadn't happened since the election. You've had 5 down negative breadth days. That hadn't happened since June. There's a number of cautionary signals in the air right here.
And just so we understand, the pullback would be, by what kind of margin are we talking about?
You know, maybe 5%, could be as high as 10%. I don't see any major pullback occurring, however.
10's pretty. 10 will get your attention. That's a full-fledged correction. Jeff, we just had Katie Stockton, the technician. I don't know if you're watching. She said 2280 on the S&P. She calls it short-term. The intermediate and long-term are both still positive. Could that fit into what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. She's a sharp lady.
She is. Yeah. And it's nice to get fundamentals and technicals to match up. Doesn't mean it's gonna. It still doesn't mean anything, but you know, at least that gives us something to talk about.
What I don't understand about your thought, Jeff, and then you can speak to it as well, is you think that we're going to move quicker and more
with the Fed.
With the Fed.
Correct.
He thinks the opposite, and yet he thinks the equity market's going down. You think the equity market's going to stay at least flat, right?
You're asking a bond guy about the equity market.
I understand, but I understand.
But I think the market is expecting a lot of this fiscal stimulus to come to fruition. So the market isn't really trading on fundamentals necessarily. So this risk-on momentum, momentum moves markets, and I think that that's going to continue for the time being.